it's April from April's Home, and today I'm here to share with you a book haul from Book Outlet. But before I do that, I would just like to say I have definitely been absent for a long time here on YouTube. I thought I would be back in January, but I'm currently doing a whole house sort of redecorate, remodel. Currently, we started that at the beginning of fall, but because we're doing every single room in the house, we're recarpeting and repainting and sort of rearranging a lot of the different rooms as both of our children have moved out and we're now empty nesters, so we thought that that would be a really good time. We thought that the project would go a lot quicker. The project has taken us a lot longer than we thought it would. You can see back here, if you recall in the old videos, our wall was sort of a brownish color, and now we have this beautiful sort of dark blue color. It's a color I've wanted in my dining room for a really long time. I do hope to share the finished rooms when I'm all finished decorating them, but again, it's taking a long time, and because I've been so occupied with that as well as just organizing and moving everything, because every time you redo a room you have to empty it. It is quite a process. So we have been extremely busy with that, and so YouTube kind of got put on the back burner. I then wanted to start filming, but I wasn't sure where to begin, so I thought I would just start with something easy, a little book haul here, actually a fairly large book haul here. As you know, I love books, and one thing I've been doing is working on my book collection. I'll go ahead and insert now a little clip of some of the process here of reorganizing my multiple books. I have a very, very large book collection in multiple rooms of my house, just because we really love books around here. So I will go ahead and insert that now so you can kind of see some of the process of what we're doing. I would love to get a book tour done. I've always wanted to do that, a shelf tour, multiple shelf book tour, to kind of show you what our library is all about, our home library here. But that will have to wait until I'm done organizing everything again. It's quite a process. So here's a little look at that process right now. Today I'm here to give you an update on some of my house projects. As you can see here, a lot of stacks of books and games and a new wall color. We have put in new floors and painted the walls in the dining room and put up new curtains and things. So I have a lot of organizing to do, and then I'm gonna go pick out a new table. I haven't been able to vlog or do anything like that lately because, as you can see, my dining room where I typically film videos has been taken apart until now. So I'm excited to get that put back together, and I will show you what it looks like when we get it all put back together. But this is what I'm doing now, doing a lot of book organizing and game organizing and choosing new pictures and things for the wall. And here you can see our front foyer area. I have put in some new bookcases here. Here's my dog taking a little nap in the sun on the rug here. Also, we've replaced the floors in the foyer, and we're getting ready to get this all organized. So again, lots of organizing, and I'll show you this when it's all put together. And we've also been working on redoing the office here. This room is still just kind of a bit of a jumble. We've brought in some new cabinets, which I'm really excited to have out, but because we've been doing a lot of construction, there's dust on everything. So I have all my books again here in a pile to be organized, and the shelves dusted and gone through, so hoping to get that all organized. So that is that. Again, you can see no pictures on the wall yet, nothing quite done. So I thought I would show you what this looks like, and then hopefully I can get all the books on the bookshelves in a nice and organized fashion, and then I'll be able to show you that. So that is what I'm working on this week, getting the office and dining room and foyer in order, and at the same time I'm also working on a craft room and a playroom here in the house, which I'll show you when those are done as well. Those are the last two rooms that will be done. So first the front of house, and then we'll do the living room, and then we'll do the smaller rooms in the house as well. So I'm really excited about that, but I thought I would update you with what this looks like, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like put together. So A lot of the books are on shelves now, at least in their general vicinities where they're going to go. I really enjoy getting it organized just right, so I'm kind of moving things and then rearranging them and all of that process. So it'll be a little while, and hopefully I can jump on here from time to time as I'm finishing up this project with just little updates and perhaps little videos and things like that. But today I thought I would share with you some of the great books that I found at Book Outlet. I love going to Book Outlet. What I do is I have a list ongoingly of books that I would like to add to my library, and I kind of hold off on buying them if I'm not ready to read them right then until I can find them on Book Outlet. And also while I'm at Book Outlet, some of the times the prices are so wonderful, I'll pick up books that weren't on my list just because they look really interesting. Most of these books here were definitely ones on my list, so I'll go ahead and get started with this stack right here. Okay, this is a little golden guide from St. Martin's Press. I think these look so fun and vintage. I love the drawings. I would love to collect a few more of these. I have a section of my library for different nature guides. We live in Oregon and we visit the ocean quite often, so I definitely love to have some good books there with all the different shells and sea life and things like that to look through. So I was really happy to find this one. And this is a new series to me. I spotted this during on Amazon during the holidays. These are fairy tales, but they are lavishly illustrated with interactive elements. Illustrated by Minalima or something like that. Anyway, this is the first copy I have purchased of this series. I would like to get all of them in the series because I was just so impressed with the way they look. And I was really excited when I spotted one on Book Closeouts. I actually keep calling it Book Closeouts, but it's bookoutlet.com. I'm not sure if they're the same company, but yes, bookoutlet.com is where I got all these. Anyways, this is The Little Mermaid, and it says, and other fairy tales. So it must be some other Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, but you can see some of the interactive elements here. Little fold-out things here that you can look at. I just think that that is so fun. I love pop-up books. And I love books with little interactive things in it. Here's another little thing here. Let's see what this does. Looks like you move this from side to side. Let's see if I can free that up. Okay, so like this. Little pretty flower there. But anyway, you get the idea. Lots of illustrations, lots of different interactive elements. Here's a pretty snowflake. So I'm really, really excited about this series. And I was incredibly excited to have found one on Book Outlet. This one here, Prairie Fires, The American Dreams of Laura Ingalls Wilder by Carolyn Fraser. This has been on my list for quite some time at Amazon, in my Amazon cart. So again, another really fun one to have found at a totally discounted price. This is supposed to be more of a true take on Laura Ingalls Wilder. I was obsessed with Little House on the Prairie when I was a little girl. So I've just always been intrigued by learning about her. And this one, again, has been on my list for quite some time. I'm looking forward to reading that, Prairie Fires. And then to kind of go along with that theme, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Laura's Album. It's a remembrance scrapbook, it says. Another book that's been on my list for a long time. I just think that's really neat to see pictures and learn different things about the Little House on the Prairie series and Laura Ingalls Wilder. So Laura's Album. And then this book here is As You Wish, The Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride by Carrie Elwes. I love The Princess Bride. Again, another favorite of mine and a book that's been on my list for quite some time. We actually, my husband and I met Carrie Elwes and went to one of his panels at a Comic-Con and got our picture taken with him. He is a very neat person and very fun to listen to talk, so I'm really excited to read this book and hear a little bit more about the making of The Princess Bride. This one was not on my list, but one I came across, and it was very inexpensive, so I thought I would pick this up since I'm now a grandma. The Complete Guide to Practically Perfect Grandparenting. It says it has stories, nursery rhymes, recipes, games, crafts, and more. I absolutely love hanging out with my grandson, and when he's a little bit older, I think some of these activities will be really, really fun. I'm excited to do all of those grandparent activities with my grandson. It looks like there's some interesting things in here to write down. That's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. So it looks like a little bit of a journal to write too. So that's pretty fun. I'm excited to look through that. Just one of those fun books that was inexpensive enough to justify picking up. And then the Pioneer Woman Cooks Come and Get It Cookbook. I really enjoy the Pioneer Woman's recipes. I had purchased her very first cookbook when it first came out. I used to follow her blog, and then of course followed her on the Food Network, watched her show there, and I thought it was really fun to find a couple of her cookbooks. I found 2 of them at Book Outlet, and they were, again, really wonderful value there, so I thought that I would get those. This one says Simple Scrumptious Recipes for Crazy Busy Lives, and we are pretty busy right now, so it'd be nice to have some new ideas for some recipes. We have really been having to kind of revamp our menu plan here. I still haven't quite got the hang of only cooking for 2, except for when my kids pop by, and also our big family dinner on Sunday night. So yeah, it's taking a little bit of getting used to, but this one is called Dinner Time, Comfort Classics, Freezer Foods, 16-minute meals, and other delicious ways to solve supper. So another one that I thought would be really, really fun to take a look at. And then this is a really interesting one. I have loved children's literature for quite some time. In college, I took a really interesting class on children's literature, and I have been intrigued ever since. I think children's books are wonderful and really interesting to read. I love their artwork. It's always just been something really neat. So I got this, A History of Children's Books in 100 Books by Roderick Cave and Sarah Ayad. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But there are a lot of pictures in here, a lot of like old-fashioned books that are just so neat to see. Some of these books I will probably not ever have in my collection because some of these look like they're really old and out of print. I'm also allergic to old paper, so I can't buy vintage books if they're at all in poor condition, just because of my paper allergies to like must and stuff. So I thought this would be a good way to be able to take a look at some of those old books and some of their illustrations and some of the things around them. There's something about Wind in the Willows, lots of just beautiful cover art, and I'm just really interested to read this book. So A History of Children's Books in 100 Books. This was on my book list. And then this book here, it's really large. It's called The Photo Ark, and it is one man's quest to document the world's animals, which I thought was fascinating. Lots of absolutely stunning pictures, just like you would expect from National Geographic. Look at that, beautiful. My husband and I both love books like this. We have a few in our collection. We try not to have too many of the really large books like this, but this one, I thought it was really neat, just how it had so many different animal pictures and things like that. So thought that would be a fun one to have in our library here at home, and one that has been on my list. So I was happy to find that one at a discounted price. And of course, I've been purchasing a few books for my little grandson. This one here, the Little Golden Bible Storybook. I have a whole basket here of little board books, and I have also purchased some for him at home as gifts. Every holiday that comes up, I'm buying him a little storybook for his collection at home. And he, even though he is only 2 months old, he actually looks at books. His parents read to him. They've sent me really cute videos reading his little storybooks to him, and how he reacts is just adorable. And when he's over here, oftentimes I'll have an opportunity to read him a little storybook as well. And he's just absolutely adorable looking at the pictures. So I thought that this one would be cute, the Little Golden Bible Storybook. And this is Richard Scarry's The Bunny Book. I thought I would set this aside for Easter. Very cute classic Richard Scarry illustrations that I just love. I was really happy to find one of these National Geographic Kids Boards book, the Look and Learn books. This one is about birds. I love birds here. We have a lot of bird feeders. I would love to see a cardinal in person. We do not have those here. But I thought that these pictures were just wonderful. And I thought this was also a really nice book. I would love to hunt down more of these National Geographic Kids Look and Learn books. This is a book that I absolutely love, and I was looking for this book particularly also for his Easter basket. This is a book that I also read to my children. I actually found this book before my children were born. I was just reading along in the bookstore, of course, years and years ago, and I just felt like this book was so almost motivating. It talks about planting a carrot seed, and his father said it might not come up, and his brother says it might not come up, and then he continues tending to it. And I won't spoil the ending. You'll have to pick this book up and see. It is just I really think it's sweet. I love the sweet classic illustrations in this. I love the whole point of this book, and I love that it has to do with gardening as well. And it's just a really wonderful little book. So I picked up a new copy for here at the house because my copy is very tattered from years and years of reading and use by myself and my children. And so I got one for here and another one for his Easter basket. So the carrot seed. And then another Richard Scarry one. This is a golden book. I have a lovely collection of little golden books, and I think that they're just great. I love the vintage ones. This one is The Country Mouse and the City Mouse and other stories by Richard Scarry. Again, cute illustrations, and one that was on my list. And then jumping into some classic literature here, I've really been wanting to read a lot more Steinbeck. I wanted to last year, but I only read one book from him last year, and so this year I'd really like to tackle more. This is East of Eden, a classic, of course, by John Steinbeck. This is one I have not read, The Red Pony, that I'm really, really excited to read. I love his little short stories. And this is another one by Steinbeck, The Pearl. This is probably one of the first Steinbeck novels that I ever read, but it's been so long, I definitely want to read it again. So I got that one too. And here we have another random recipe book here. This is just one of those that I came across. I think it was just a couple of dollars. My family loves tater tots and loves tater tot casserole, things like that. I've been wanting to try making tachos and things like that. So I thought it would be super fun and sort of whimsical to have 50 different tater tot recipes. Perhaps I can make some fun tater tot dishes for the family. So I picked up that. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I have been since the Tom Baker era, way back in the 80s when I was watching it in a rerun on PBS. So this here is A Brief History of Time Lords. It's been on my list for a long time. I didn't think I would come across this on Book Outlet, but I did, and I was really happy about that. So again, some really cool pictures and information there. Some of the classic Doctor Who. So I'm really excited to have that one in my collection. This is one of the newer books. It is not the newest book from Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. This one is called A Map of Days. This is the 4th novel. The 5th one just came out, and I would like to catch up with this series so that I can buy book 5 as well. Very interesting series so far, so I'm happy to have found that one on a Book Outlet. I think almost all of my, maybe aside from the first one, I think all of my Mrs. Peregrine's books came from Book Outlet. So that's really exciting. And then this one is one that I just came across, I think it was when I was searching for this one. This one popped up as a recommendation, The Wiz Mob and the Grenadine Kid by Colin Malloy. And he wrote the Wildwood Chronicles, which I have also started, and I really enjoy his writing. So I thought that I would enjoy The Wiz Mob. Looks like a fun story, so I'm excited to read that. This is a classic that I've had in the past for Halloween. Thought I would grab another copy. My copy's getting a little old. This is The Little Old Lady Who Is Not Afraid of Anything. You can see with Book Outlet, they sometimes have stickers on them. It looks like this was previously from Walmart, but has made its way to Book Outlet. And then this one was one I just came across, but I love Frank Ash books. Again, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this one is Pancakes and Pajamas, a classic children's book. And this is by Phoebe Wall, Backyard Fairies. I love her illustrations. This one has been on my list for a long time and is normally pretty expensive. You can see this is a hardcover, normally at $17.99. I definitely did not pay that price. I got a very good price on this. I don't remember how much right now, but I do know it was quite a significant discount. So I was really happy to find this hardback of Backyard Fairies, a book that has been on my wish list for a little while because the illustrations are just wonderful. This is a Tasha Tudor book that I don't have. This one has a little bit of dirtiness to the cover here. You will find that from time to time, not very often. Most of these books are in wonderful condition, but at Book Outlet, there are some books that have been a little, you know, tumbled about and whatnot, but they're all in really good condition. I have a feeling a little very lightly damp cloth should clean that right up. This is A is for Annabelle, A Doll's Alphabet by Tasha Tudor. Again, I love Tasha Tudor. Her illustrations are just wonderful. I have a bunch of her books. We want her to wear dresses. D for the dresses we want her to wear. You can see all the sweet little drawings there. Just very precious. I love that. So that'll go in my Tasha Tudor collection, as well as this, A Tale for Easter by Tasha Tudor. William Steig is one of my favorite children's authors of all. This one is a Newbery Honor book, Dr. DeSoto. This is a great book for teaching children about the dentist. I used to enjoy reading it when I was little and also enjoyed reading it to my kids, so I thought I would have a copy here. I was actually surprised that I did not have a copy of Dr. DeSoto, so I definitely had to add that. I have a very significant William Steig collection here in my home library, so that one definitely had to be added. This is one I hadn't heard of, Spink E Sucks by William Steig. That popped up when the Dr. DeSoto book popped up, so I went ahead and picked this one up as well. Don't even know what this is about. Let's see, it says, Spinky's convinced his family hates him and goes off to sulk in the hammock. And his brother and sister try to make amends. Sounds like his brother does, but he keeps sulking. So it sounds like an interesting book to read. This one here is also a very beautiful story. This one I just came across on Book Outlet. I was also surprised I didn't have this in my library here already. I always go and check my shelf so I don't end up with duplicates, although it does happen from time to time. This one is called Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, An African Tale. And it is just a really beautiful story. I read this when I was younger. This is a Caldecott honor book and definitely very beautiful illustrations and a very nice story. So I thought I would add that. And then lastly, these books were just recently on my to purchase list, and I was again really surprised to find these nice, really well-made hardcover books on Book Outlet. So I got Raggedy Andy and Raggedy Ann stories here. I have a little Raggedy Ann and Andy doll, and I definitely wanted the little children's stories books to go with those. And I just thought it was so nice to be able to find those hard back copies on Book Outlet. So those are all of the books that I found at Book Outlet this time. Definitely some treasures here and some practical recipe books and things like that. I always have a ton of fun shopping at Book Outlet and seeing what I can find. And I definitely like to check Book Outlet first to see if they have a book that I'm looking for at perhaps a discounted price. So definitely remember to check that out if you love to build your home library as well, or you're looking for a particular book. Just a really fun place to shop for books. So those are the books that I picked out this time, and I will have to find a place for them in my new home library. A lot of these I already have a spot for. They have little categories, and I have been waiting to add them to my library, so I'm really excited about that. So that was my book haul from Book Outlet. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at all of the fun books that I found for my library, and I do hope to be back with another video soon. I do have so many ideas for videos this year. I hope I can get as many filmed as possible. I really am eager to share a bunch of my recipes and some of my home tour as I finish that up. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week, and I thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe for more videos from April's Home. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.